Now, everybody's trying to trademark everything. The way this is going, it was just a matter of time until somebody tried to trademark the word the. I'm Andrei, the founder of Trademark Factory, and in this video, I'm going to share my thoughts about yet another trademarking screw-up. This time around, it's the Ohio State University trying to trademark the for clothing. All right, let me start by reading from the article, and as always, you can find the link in the description below. Ohio State University is trying to trademark the word the for merchandise. Ohio State University is attempting to trademark possibly the most common word in the English language, the, according to NBC News. The official name of the university is indeed the Ohio State University, although the insistence, particularly from the school's athletic programs, upon being referred to that way is viewed as arrogant and pretentious by many outsiders. Still, the school has filed a trademark application on the word the for the purpose of creating hats and shirts that feature the single word the on them. Like other institutions, Ohio State works to vigorously protect the university's brand and trademarks, as they should, university spokesman Chris Davies said. These assets hold significant value which benefits our students and faculty and the broader community by supporting our core academic mission of teaching and research. Okay, you can finish reading the article yourself. It has a commentary of another trademark attorney. I'm going to give you my thoughts on what's going on here. So, is really this case is a perfect illustration of what trademarks can and cannot do. And you have to look at it from three different perspectives. Perspective number one, can the university use this brand in their merchandise? Can they use the word the on their hats, on their shirts, and all of that stuff? Second thing is, will they be able to successfully register it as their trademark? And three, if they were to be able to successfully register this trademark, how successful would they be in enforcing it against others? So let's go through that with this framework in mind. So can university state put the word the on their t-shirts and merchandise? Most probably yes. So even though there are thousands of trademarks out there, including in class 25 and probably every other class that have the word the in them, those other trademarks will not be able to be used to stop Ohio State University from using the word the on their products. Because when the is part of another trademark, the something, then of course no weight is really given to the word the. The trademarks office would routinely disregard these words because they don't add anything distinctive to the brand. So from that perspective, there's no difference between, let's say, Trademark Factory and the Trademark Factory if we had trademarked the Trademark Factory, right? So we just got the trademark for Trademark Factory. But if we wanted to do the Trademark Factory, let's say somebody else wants to do the Trademark Factory trademark, they couldn't do that because we own Trademark Factory, and the trademarks office would say, well, adding the doesn't really add anything substantial to the brand, and it's already trademarked by the Trademark Factory, or Trademark Factory International Inc., which is the official name of our company. So from that perspective, Ohio State University can easily put the on their shirts without fear of somebody going after them. Second part of this equation is, can they successfully register it as a trademark? Well, that could be problematic, but not impossible. So here are the arguments for and against. Well, the argument against is pretty obvious, right? It's the most common word in the English dictionary, and what if the university claims monopoly over the use of the word the as its brand. Wouldn't that cause chaos because nobody else would be able to use the word the in their brands? So that's, of course, the argument against. Another argument against is, especially in the US, there's this concept of what's called ornamental use. So when you put a phrase or a word, especially on clothing, the question that the Trademarks Office asks is this a brand or is this a message? And are people looking at this as a source that identifies the product? Like, for example, Nike, right? When it says Nike, you know it's made by Nike. When it says just do it, this starts to get into the gray area, but because it's such a well-known brand, we all know when it says just do it, it comes from Nike. But sometimes you come up with those really motivational phrases and you put them on the shirt. And then the question is, are people buying it because of the message, or are they buying it because they know it comes from a particular source? So the counter argument to that, of course, would be that, well, now especially, everyone would know that the means Ohio State University. So that could be an interesting play there. And so the argument for registration would be that Ohio State University is not using the as definite article for something else. They're using it just by itself, which from the grammar perspective is meaningless. So they're going to say our brand is the. It's not the Ohio State University. And when we claim the trademark on the word the, it would go only to the extent that the is the brand rather than the something. So it's not impossible that their trademark is actually going to go through, especially if they can back it up by evidence that they've been using the mark extensively and are recognized under this brand extensively. So if they can furnish that evidence, that could overcome those objections. It will be an interesting one to see. Now, let's assume they got the registration. The third thing, the third aspect, the third element of this framework is, let's say they got it, how successful would they be in enforcing it? And that's where the problem lies. So typically, when you get a trademark, it gives you the right to enforce it against not just direct copies, but also against people using similar brands, right? Lookalikes, sound-alikes, and mean-alikes. And it also allows you to technically go against those who include your trademark in their brand. So for example, nobody could trademark the Microsoft or something that contains the word Microsoft in it. Like Microsoft Software Solutions, which is the example we always use to show why you should use specialists to do proper trademark searches, because if you're just looking for your particular brand, it may not be good enough, because there may be other brands out there that you're not hitting when you're doing the search without knowing exactly what to search for. But I digress. So going back to typically, like I said, you can enforce your brand if somebody else is trying to include your brand in theirs. Now, would Ohio State University be able to do it with their brand? No, right? So just like nobody can stop Ohio State University from using the word the on their shirts, even if their trademarks contain the word the, Ohio State University couldn't also use their trademark for the word the to stop others from using the as part of their trademarks. Even if it comes to universities using that in their shirts. So let's say, some other universities, like, I don't know if there's such a university, like Alabama University, right? So if they had the Alabama State University as their trademark, just because Ohio State University would own the brand they wouldn't be able to go after the Alabama State University and in hopes of stopping them from using the brand or stopping to use the as part of their brand. So with that, the question is, how valuable is this trademark? Let's say they can use it, they can trademark it, and they can only enforce it against those other companies who would start putting out t-shirts and hats that would just say the and nothing else. So they couldn't stop them from using the something on their shirts, just the word the. And the answer to that is actually very simple. It's probably worth it. It's probably worth it because here's the thing. The cost of trademark registration is minimal, right? It's gonna cost them a couple of $1,000s to get it done. I'm assuming they're using decent lawyers and not just some of those services online that would help you file your trademark for next to nothing. So let's say they're going to spend a few $1,000s on this, and that's their expense. Let's say they get it for a few $1,000s, and that would allow them to stop everyone else from selling t-shirts that only say the on them. Is it worth it? Maybe, especially if they see that there's traction with this brand, if people like it, if people love it, if people spend money with it, and they got the trademark that they can renew forever, right? Trademarks is the only type of intellectual property that can be renewed over and over and over and over again. So over the course of forever, but even in over the course of the first registration term of 10 years, are they going to make more than that? More than a few $1,000s? Well, hopefully, because if not, then the whole brand is worthless. But assuming that the brand generates the money, of course, it's valuable for them to be able to stop others from using similar shirts, from using the brand on their shirts. And so Ohio State University is doing everything right. On top of that, of course, they knew that this would become a point of countless articles, countless comments of journalists, of attorneys, and people have no idea how trademarks work. They're getting free publicity. So again, they only spent a few $1,000s getting this brand trademarked, and now, in the worst case scenario, they're getting all this free publicity and people buying their shirts because of that. And in the best case scenario, on top of the free publicity, they're gonna get the trademark that would allow them to stop their competitors and pretty much everyone else from just using the word the on their shirts. I think it's brilliant strategy. They're doing everything right, and kudos to them. But again, just so that everyone understands and doesn't freak out, when they succeed with this trademark application, they will only be able to enforce it in very limited circumstances. Now, I hope you found this video interesting and useful, and if you haven't subscribed yet, you gotta do it right now. So I'm gonna wait a couple of seconds for you to just click that subscribe button, right? So it's there, right? Bottom right corner. Click the subscribe button and now click the bell to make sure that you get notified whenever the next video goes live. And we post these videos every single day, and I'm sure you'll find other videos just as good, if not better. And if you've got a brand that you want to protect, well, apparently it's too late for you to try to trademark the word the, but there are many other brands you may want to protect. And if that's you, if you're a business owner who has a brand that you want to make sure you own and that nobody else can rip off, then go to trademarkfactory.com and book your free call with one of our strategy advisors, and they'll be able to help you get started. Until then, I'll see you in the next video.